So the thing that distinguishes the film score from the just songwriting is that you have to be able to work with the pictures. You are actually a part of the filmmaking process. It might take a while until you earn back something that is meaningful for your life. My first steps into the real world was not easy, but that taught me to stand up for myself. No one is gonna help you anything. You have to stand up and ask for it.
Hello and welcome to SLP by Punch Napattra. Today's episode we are going to talk to the person whose journey is from the filmmaking to film scoring, and I believe his journey is very inspiring. Welcome พี่แทนนะคะ
Hi สวัสดีครับ Hi
แนะนำตัวนิดนึงได้ไหมคะ
ได้
Please
ครับ
tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Tan. I'm a music composer for film and video games and part-time working in theater as well. I am based in Los Angeles, but I'm originally from Thailand and I graduated from Thammasat University for filmmaking. But I'm currently writing music for film, so it has been quite a leap from my originated field to cross over to music composition. So that's why I'm here to share my experience with you all. And yeah, I'm currently working on various credits, including Netflix, and also off-Broadway Catch the Jellicoe Ball with Andrew Lloyd Webber's. And I'm currently going to fly back to LA next week to, tackle whatever is left for the rest of the year.
แค่นี้ก็ฟินไฟแล้ว
It's 10 years of making, and this is the first year that I'm starting to see something happening with my life. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah.
So talking about filmmaking, so I think most of the people might not know that this job exists. มันต่างยังไงกับ music composer and like film?
Well, I learned the hard way. I've always admired film score in my life. I started listening to all the film scores since I was in 6th grade. Back then when all the Hollywood or big blockbuster films came out, I usually just bought all the CDs and listened to all the film scores, but I never knew how to make that. I just thought that, okay, they probably record something to make it fit with a picture, but I never know how they do that. So the thing that distinguishes the film score from the just songwriting is that you have to be able to work with the pictures. Songs or theater is something that you can just write the lyrics or just come up with the music first and then put in the lyrics. Film, on the other hand, you have to watch the film or maybe just a rough cut so that you get an idea, and then it's not just music composition. You are actually a part of the filmmaking process. You are not leading the film. You are working with the directors in bringing his or her visions comes to life. And for film scores, it's almost like working with the art directions. You have to be able to be adapting or even revise music. So it's not just like, okay, I wrote some cues, suck it up, my friend. No. So you kind of have to be able to collaborate and change things and then read the pictures. And even sometimes if you have the new edits of the film comes in, you have to be able to conform the music to change along with the cuts too. Yeah. So film score is like a collaborative work between you and the directors. So you have to be able to adjust artistry side of yourself along with the business side of yourself as well. So you have to be able to do both. Film score is requiring the skills of filmmaking along with the music as well. So you have to blur these two arts together.
So did they tell you the exact kind of music that they like?
Yeah, this depends on the directors actually. Some directors gives you a total control of anything. And maybe like they might be letting you do your own thing until the part of, okay, maybe this is like not in the same direction that they are thinking of, and then you can just draw back and change things. Some director came in with a very clear references and they are expecting you to follow that strictly. So it depends. There was a case that the director has some certain reference, but then I just tried to slip in some other ideas that I'm thinking, and then I successfully changed their minds too. That's a fun process too. So it depends. So like working with the director is almost like a date. So you kind of have to learn that taste. You have to learn their feedbacks and learn from that reference. Some director gave you a clear reference, but they are not expecting you to follow that. It's just a guideline, but they are not like, we want you to copy that. So they're like, that was the case that like, okay, if you want this, I'm gonna make something that is really close to that, and then they turn out to be like, they don't like it. That's why I was hired.
Yeah.
Not to copy, just to be my own thing based on the reference. For the video games, the reference works in a different way. For the film, you get like concrete reference of the music. Video game is more like a sound palette that affects like just the vibe of the sound effects, how the interactive music works in video games. So for the reference for video game, it might not just be like the music. It might be just like some hit and bits of the particle of the sounds that can be expanded to the whole character of the game itself. Yeah, so it could be like that.
Okay, let's talk a little about your education background. You study at a two world-class academy actually เลิศมากนั่นก็คือ Berkeley แล้วก็ USC.
Both of them are film scoring. Some place like USC called it screen scoring because like these days not just restricted to film scoring anymore.
Yeah.
Back in the day, yes, maybe like it's just film scoring. So these days these programs are changing the names to screen scoring in order to be able to cover like video games, film, TV, and anything that is related to screen. So I went to Berkeley and USC, both of them. But both of them are like not back to back. I had like a long gap years to learn more experience before I decided to go back to school.
How did it shape you?
Oh, totally like 100% shaped me to a new person. I went in without any experience in my life. The only experience regarding to the music composition was just that I learned to use like crappy Logic writing, like Logic Pro in Apple. I learned to write music without any metronome. I didn't even know how to make click tracks or like to make music in on tempo. Back then, I just wrote music with free tempo because I never know that you can set up the beat in the program. So I started like really blinded. And then when I went to Berkeley, that was the first step that I learned all the theories, which I never have. I grew up playing saxophone in symphonic bands in my school, but that's it. That's all I knew. So when I went there, it's like a new world. Like you basically start fresh from zero, like 101 jazz, 101 classical, and even conducting, which I never had any experience on that. I came from Warasan Thammasat. I already graduated one bachelor, but it was like a big decision to make to just go back to another school to learn from zero. It was not easy, trust me. Like you went in and then you have to study with other 18 years old students and you feel like you're not belonging there, but you just have to keep going because like it's not to be that just to like have social or anything. You are there to learn craft. So yes, so everything started from zero, but I really enjoyed it.
So like orchestration and conducting is the essential subject that you need to be studied.
Yes. Basically at Berkeley, apart from the foundations and all the theory stuff, once you walked into the actual core major, it's gonna be all about writing.
Right.
Orchestrating at Berkeley was not that intensive, but I was lucky enough to catch up with that when I work in real life. So I learned how, okay, you have to do that. Okay. And then much later, like when I went to USC, that's when every intensive stuff comes in. USC was like another game that was like, you get to write and record every week. So it was like, from Berkeley is like maybe one or twice a semester, but USC is like every single week, you're gonna have something coming up. And not to mention you have student films, outside project, and then you're gonna go to Warner Brother to record for like 60 pieces orchestra twice. And then there's no break. In 1 week, you have to write at least 6 pieces. That's a lot. If Berkeley is like a foundation, USC is like a job training. It's not even education anymore. It's like they train you to be like Iron Man. So USC is kind of like just threw you into that type of like intensive and then learn out of that.
So what shaped you from studying filmmaking to film scoring?
Once I finished my college at Thammasat from Warasan, after that I went straight to advertising company. That was my first job. So once I graduated from Warasan, and I worked there as a third director's assistant or something, and then we worked in for toothpaste advertising commercial or something. I hate every minute of that. I remember I went home crying. I was like, this is not me, man. But that's my first job too.
Yeah.
I guess most people cried when they went to their first job.
First day of school.
Yeah, but that was extra trauma for me for some reason. I did cry a lot. And then after 1 week, I quit. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take film scoring seriously. Because of Thammasat, I had experience for writing music for Lakorn Varasan. And I was also the president of TU band when I was in Thammasat. So I was like, apparently, even though I study Nitet, I had more experience on music from activities. So I feel like, why just not look into that and see the possibility? And I got a little push because I was lucky enough to work with Dreambox Theater, คณะละคร Dreambox นะฮะ and I worked for them as like started with as actor first. I was ensemble actors, but then I asked Dreambox if I could become a conductor's assistant.
Wow.
So I helped them with นางพญางูขาว and then many other stuff coming along. Anything that Dreambox had during that 2010s, I helped them all. So I had more experience working with them as well. So that's when I feel a little bit more confident to jump into the music, because before that, it's absolutely a no-no for music, for the music career for me, because I feel that it's intimidating. I always thought that music career or like a conductor or composer, you have to be able to play piano like a genius, and you have to be a genius to see a note and then be able to like sing it out. Like I was like, that's not for me. I'm just a saxophone player from school. That's all I know. But then I learned that, it's just you have to put work into that. It's just you just have to jump into that. So I decided, okay, let's build a portfolio and then apply to Berkeley. And I got in, and then that's it. It took me 2 years from that point of the toothpaste advertising to Berkeley. It took me 2 years.
จริงๆในฐานะรุ่นพี่แทนก็ encourage ให้รุ่นน้องถาม director หรือถามคนที่เขาทำงานอยู่ใน industry ว่าเหมือน offer ไม่ต้องรอเขา offer ถูกไหมเราสามารถ offer ให้เขาได้
Always have to be the one who offer them. This is how you survive this industry. What can you give them? It's not like being selfish or anything. It's all about like what can you offer. And in fact, my first step into the film score was that because I was in the film directing program at Thammasat. Of course, everyone around me in my classroom, they're all aspiring filmmaker. So I got to score for like 3 films in that class. That's the first steps that I learned how to write music. I'm sure it was not the best thing ever, but that's the first thing I tried. Student film from my classmate. So I encourage everyone, if you want to make music for films, start with that.
Ask away.
Ask away. If they say no, the worst thing is that they say no. But then what? Keep asking. Like, like being in America, that taught me something that you just have to stand up for yourself. No one is gonna help you anything. You have to stand up and ask for it and be able to give back as well. That is more important.
What are the challenges that you have faced within the job?
Oh, it's tough. I've been in the US for almost 10 years. The first door that I stepped in was to become an assistant composer. Unfortunately, I worked for free for 2 years. I even cooked for the guy. I did the grocery. I didn't never get paid back, and that was the first thing that was I learned it the hard way, that I put so much energy and I put so much passion. I wrote the music in order to get like not get credited. Ghostwriters. My first steps into the real world was not easy, but that taught me to stand up for myself, to be able to network things for yourself, to keep trying to improve, because this is not one-man show. You might have to be able to assist. You might have to be able to just offer whatever you can. It might take a while until you earn back something that is meaningful for your life. It took me almost 10 years in order to finally land it on something that is like, hey, I finally make it. And not to mention that our generation went through COVID-19s, and when I graduated from USC, it was the time that the Hollywood has a strike. If you remember that, 2023, that was the year that all the actors went on strike. All the projects in the US, the Hollywood projects, are all put on hold. And that was the year that I graduated with such a high hope to get a job. So everything just got shut down on my face, like consistently, COVID and then this. So what taught me for the past decade was that you have to be able to be flexible enough by not losing your goal. I started with LA working for free, but I'm grateful. Okay, like the whole thing is that I'm not like holding the grudge with my ex-boss or anything. I learned a lot by working with those employers, but I also learned that I have to be able to stand on my own at one point. I was there to learn the craft, to learn that I have to have such passion in order to put in. And then once I'm ready, I'm going to take on the flight by myself. I'm going to fly by myself. And I learned to be flexible enough in order to change things. I learned so many new programs, notation software, the digital, the DAWs, the program that you use to write music. I learned them all in order to be able to substitute, in order to get a different jobs. I crossed over from film score to theater in order to survive. If Hollywood is closed, I'm gonna go to New York and get a gig in Broadway. It sounds easy, but it came from the time that I spend on learning new things in order to keep myself afloat. And I also teach. I also work as an extra in the film set. When I started my career, I did everything in my life. So that, and I never regret any of this. It's all a part of my journey.
What's the credit works between their area? Like it's a movie credit works with the theater industry?
When I jumped to theater, they don't know anything about my film things. Like, and then I'm not gonna be screaming, I did this, I did that. Absolutely no. I feel like everything started from zero. Yes, I did theater in Thailand. I work for Dreambox, but that's nothing compared to the real world, like in Broadway or something like that. So you went in blank. You have to be able to learn new things like any other jobs. So the credit might work as an experience in order to apply for the music gigs. But when working in theater, there's nothing much from the film score that you can implement it into the style of the musical theater. You know the technique, you know the theory, but at the real practical, you still have to learn some new things all the time. Even the software of the notation software are all different. I learned the new software within 2 to 3 weeks in order to jump to Broadway right away. There's no time to wait. And vice versa, for theater to go into film, it might help if you want to write music on that style or write songs. It could work. Actually, lots of classic film score in the history of the film score back in the 30s, 40s, like golden Hollywood era, they all came from Broadway. So I kind of feel like I might be able to like follow that path because I get to do both. And then I'm grateful that I'm being flexible enough to walk the track along with the gold Hollywood era type of things. So yes, most of the famous film score in the history, they came from Broadway. So it's going to be a fun journey.
และตอนนี้ทำอะไรอยู่ที่บอกได้และหรือมีอะไรผลงานไหนที่ภูมิใจที่แบบว่าอันนี้ค่ะ Proudly Present สามารถไปฟังเป็นผลงานของพี่แทน
Earlier this year, I wrote the music for the first feature film in English. So I'm excited about it. It's still on the festival circuit, so it's not going to be released yet. But if there's something more accessible, was that I orchestrated music for a Netflix film called Uglies. It's already on Netflix. You can check that out. I orchestrated for it. And also I work closely with Wu-Tang Clan, the rappers. So I orchestrated lots of music for his album. So his latest album was A Ballet Through Mud. So it's RZA. So he's the lead rappers from Wu-Tang. So he came up with the ballet. So it's gonna be like a very like cross genre. So I orchestrated and did some additional writing for him as well. So you can check that on Apple Music. And of course, that's a bunch of video games coming out. I've been working on almost like 10 games at the moment at the same times. And yes, the Sorelle, it's a kids-friendly video game that just got long listed for the World Soundtrack Award. So it's already up on Steam as well. Yeah, and there are many more to come to project.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
For the listeners, I hope you enjoy the episode. สำหรับใครที่กำลัง lost หรือรู้สึกว่าอยาก change career path พี่แทนก็เป็นคนหนึ่งที่ตัดสินใจที่จะ change career path เนอะ Maybe if you don't know the job, then you know that there is a film scoring job existed in this world. So
yeah, I hope it inspires you somehow. And
Again, thank you very much for coming and sharing.
Thank you
Okay.
my pleasure ขอบคุณค่ะ